Hey Leo, let's see what Spirit wants to say to you today. This is for the second week of June 2025. Thank you for joining me. My name is Sarah. We are going to find out what messages Spirit wants to convey to you today. We've got renewal, prosperity. So you may be coming into a new part of yourself that's going to bring some sort of prosperity. There's some sort of miracle that's showing up here. We're going to unfold. There's some sort of miracle. There is going to be some sort of tower moment that you're going to experience, and we're going to get more on that in a second. That's going to cause you to have to grow in some sort of way. And you're going to experience a death and rebirth here, where you are going to find the truth on something. There's some sort of truth that's going to be had, and we've got protection, and the overall arching theme is acceptance. Acceptance is obviously the last stage of grief after loss. Okay, and I do see the transformation card here, which indicates something about death and rebirth here. All right, so Leo, what I'm seeing here is that there's something either happening in your life right now, or there is something that is about to happen. This may have happened already. There's something that's going to happen or is happening that is going to shake things up in your life a little bit. And we are going to pull some tarot, and we'll see if that tower does come out. But the chaos card is the equivalent of the tower for me. Now, whatever this is, obviously the tower, we already know, is something that is meant to happen in order to break down some sort of mental structure that we're holding on to. Now, there's something that is going to happen that's going to cause you to have to grow in some sort of way, and this is going to cause a transformation in your life. And whatever this transformation is, it's going to align you with the path towards some deep existential truth. Okay? It does look like you are when I see the protection card, it often has something to do with being in separation from something that you may really want. It's almost like that's a divine protection thing. Or you may need to learn to protect yourself against something. So we're going to find out more as we pull more out. But it looks like whatever this is a miraculous occurrence in your life. It's showing up here that you have done something here, or you are about to do something here that may even though it's probably divine, it's always divinely guided. But, I shouldn't say it's always, no, there are things that we get involved in that are not necessarily of the divine, and they're still spiritual. That's why we need to watch ourselves. But it does look like you are aligned with something divine here, with the miracles card coming out, and it's due to this divinity that you're going to experience this. So let's get more on this portion. We're going to get another layer here. Poised, flexible. Okay, Leo. Higher power. All right. So I'm seeing that already, that there's something about maybe bending over backwards for it's almost like you may be allowing somebody to have some sort of power over you. With poised and flexible, I'm almost seeing this energy of behaving, or giving more to a connection than maybe you should. Time for a nap. It does look like there may be something that needs to be laid to rest for now. We've got deep knowing. Breathe. So it's showing up that you're letting go of something. There's something that you may have to let go of or lay to rest for now. There's no place like home. And whatever this is, and that's why I'm saying, like, there's something divine here. Whatever this is that you're laying to rest, and it's coming in the form of potentially a connection. We're going to find out more. It's something that you've been familiar with for a very long time. One more. fork in the road, you have a choice here. And the overall arching theme here is chaos and conflict. I'm just going to bring this down a little here. Okay. So Leo, I'm seeing that something is coming to, being laid to rest. I'm not necessarily seeing a complete ending, but it does look like there's something that needs to be accepted here. And it has something to do with there being some sort of chaos and conflict in your life. Now, what I'm seeing here is that this could be you or somebody who you're connected to. I'm reading it as you. You've been very well behaved and flexible. And it looks like it could be to avoid chaos and conflict. Okay? The problem is that if we're passive, that aggression will always come out eventually. So if you're involved in a connection right now where you do not feel safe to assert yourself, it's probably in your best interest to come to terms with why that is that you have been succumbing to this energy. Because it looks like whatever this is familiar to you. So you may have been raised by parents who experienced some sort of like narcissistic injury. If you ever tried to speak up, even in a way that may have been potentially healthy assertion, okay? But there is something that you already it's showing up, Leo, that you're very intuitive right now about what it is that you need to do. And it looks like you need to potentially let go of something, lay something to rest and make a different choice, because there's something you need to potentially learn about chaos and conflict in your life. So Spirit, let's get this next layer out. Freedom. Honest work, but I read that just as honesty here. Movement. Oh, wait. I meant to put that down here. Movement. So freedom, honest, movement. You're moving towards your freedom. Ups and downs. Okay, so you've been experiencing, so this is what I'm seeing here. When I see the ups and downs card related to a connection, especially with all the energies that I'm seeing here, I'm seeing that whatever it is that you experience as far as what feels good in this connection goes, you want to try and always have. So what I'm seeing is that there's a potential that you're connected to somebody who there may be a lot of rough patches that you're experiencing here, but you want so badly to get back to feeling that good part of the connection again, that you're willing to bend over backwards or just ignore things, even though you want to say something about it, because you want to get back to what feels good again. And it looks almost like you're in a position where you have been compromising your integrity. So something about you're going to have to potentially cut ties here. Oh wait, I did that the wrong way. That's this. You're going to be cutting ties with something. It's actually the energy. It's coming through as a person, but it's this energy of giving in and bending over backwards and maybe being very passive. And there's going to be a new direction that you're taking after cutting ties. There's going to be fast changes. You're going to experience fast changes because if you do this and you figure out what it is that's been keeping you stuck, you can align yourself with a completely new path. With the fork in the road card, you're manifesting something. The overall arching theme are your rewards. So here's the thing, right? Obviously, we've got cause and effect is the sixth principle of natural law. And whatever we put out, we get back. And obviously, whatever we get back is usually we learn through reward and punishment. It's showing up here that on the contingency that you make the right choice here, and it looks like it's to cut ties with this energy, you will be rewarded for this, okay? So there's some sort of freedom that there's something that you need to come to terms with. There's something you may need to be honest with yourself about. You may need to feel, like I said, you need to feel free to assert yourself and be honest. Okay? And if you feel like you want to do that and the fear is that you're going to be met either with abandonment or, battery in some extreme case. I think abandonment is just as bad as full-blown battery. It's just as bad. But if you feel like that's what's going to happen, this is something that is very unhealthy, okay? So you're meant to be moving there, you may be moving towards this connection that's been, or you're meant to understand something about the ups and downs you've been experiencing in this connection by cutting ties, moving in a new direction, and experiencing the fast changes that you will experience, that you are manifesting by. You're manifesting something right now, and it looks like you do have to cut ties with this energy first in order to experience the rewards that you are going to experience by doing that. So we've got the Nine of Cups in the upright. We've got the Six of Swords in reverse. Ooh, yeah. And we've got the King of Cups in reverse here. So what I'm seeing here is there's something about this connection that's very satisfying to you. And that's what I'm seeing here. There are still good times. You still have good times with this person, but the problem is that there may be you may be staying in choppy waters or going back to choppy waters with somebody who's very emotionally unavailable is what's showing up here. We've got the King of Pentacles in reverse too. So we're not only emotionally unavailable, but this person may be like the kings in reverse are all narcissists. So in their own way. So we've got potential emotional manipulation going on here, meaning somebody might be, every time you try to assert yourself, this person might try to make you feel guilty in some way, like you just did something wrong, and this might bring you back to some sort of childhood wound that you need to deal with. And you're also dealing with somebody who is potentially really greedy too, or very materialistic, and it's keeping you in this lack mentality. So if you are, it's showing up that there's a lack of emotion and a lack of stability here, and so with that, this keeps you in lack. Okay, so now we need to change direction. Okay, because you're not being honest with yourself about something right now. So that's the second time now I'm seeing that message come up in this reading. We need to start being honest with ourselves here, Leo. We've got the Eight of Pentacles, working towards something or working on rebuilding. It does look like there is going to be loss felt here. That's why we see acceptance, and that's going to be the last card we read at the very end. The overall arching theme, Nine of Pentacles, it's in your best interests right now to either, if you are single, to stay single. If this person is in separation with you, stay in separation. Or you may want to, if you are connected to this type of energy, if you're not in this energy, this isn't your reading. If this is the energy you've been involved with, though, it is likely in your best interest to get yourself stabilized from singlehood. The Nine of Pentacles is a great card to have, but it does look like there's something that you're finding satisfying about being in this energy. So you may have only ever known this type of energy in your life. You may even have somewhat of a cortisol addiction. I'm just mentioning it because I heard Spirit tell me to say it. So like I said, there's a lack of emotion. There's a lack of stability. This keeps you in lack mentality. You're not being completely honest with yourself about something right now. But it looks like in order for you to rebuild on yourself and get yourself into this Nine of Pentacles energy, you're going to have to let go of something. And this is not going to be easy. This is something that's going to feel like you're experiencing a loss, because you probably have very strong feelings for whoever this is. I mean, obviously, if the Five of Cups is showing up, that's the card of bereavement. Okay. So let's pull this next layer. We've got the whip. Oh, and this one wants to jump out. The bear. So you're you're being very nurturing to a very it's a very punishing energy that you're nurturing right now. All right, let's get the next one. And it's showing up that either this has been laid to rest already, or it needs to be laid to rest. We've got the coffin, the fox. Yeah, there we go. There's the narcissist card. That's it. That's the most self-centered card in this deck is the fox. It's still not worse than the snake, though. I think the snake might be a little worse. There's something you're cloudy on. There's something you're not fully grasping something is what's showing up here about your situation. And it may stem from your childhood. This is due to your conditioning, okay? But you're still loyal. You and this person, you're still feeling like you want to be loyal to this person. You may still be loyal to this person, but there is something familiar about this entire thing. Yeah, there we go. There's despair. You are going to feel this isn't an easy situation to be in, Leo, because you're in a situation where you either need to choose yourself and what you know is in your own best interests here, or you stay in this situation where it looks like you have a lot of very strong feelings, but it also looks like it's not healthy and you are actually compromising your own worth and integrity here by being in this connection. So like I said, what I was seeing is that there's some sort of very punishing energy that you've been nurturing. And it's showing up that it needs to come to an end because whoever this is showing up as a very self-centered. There's a very self-centered energy that you've been feeding for a long time. And it looks like it's been since childhood. Because you may have been the parent in your house when you were the child. You know, that happens, okay? So there's something you're unclear on. There's something you haven't fully come to terms with why it is that you are caught up in this situation. And it has to do with the loyalty that you feel to this energy. Because when you were a child, you were raised probably by this energy. It's always been very familiar to you. And this may be causing you despair, and you may also be experienced because you genuinely loved the people who were exerting this energy against you. It's still difficult to separate from it. I see dog in two different places here. Whoever this is may have a dog, or obviously if dog represents friend, loyalty, it's showing up that you are loyal to this energy. Can we get the last layer here for Leo before we start going through all of the placements? We've got communicate clearly. Yeah, so there's something about asserting yourself here and feeling comfortable doing it. And you will experience some sort of success. Big happy changes are coming in. And that shows up on top of the coffin. If you let go, we've got to let go of something here. Because this is going to improve your health. So you need to look for the signs. So when I see look for a sign show up, it's what are the red flags? If they're not obvious, if whatever it is that you're experiencing is not overtly obvious, you kind of have to play detective and really pay attention to whatever it is that's going on that's setting the alarm bells off here. The worst is when you're in a situation where after everything falls apart, you're saying, I knew this was going to happen. The reason why you knew it was going to happen was because your intuition was screaming something at you and you decided to ignore it. I hate when that happens. So you have the potential to recover from something. You're actually going to heal from something that's been affecting you potentially most of your life. Okay? And the last one, we've got no. You have to learn to say no to this person. I don't know. That's what it looks like to me. and your situation will improve. So let's go through each of the placements here. We've got communicate clearly. So that's what I'm seeing here is when you assert yourself, and this may have always been this way for you, there's been some level of punishment almost that you experience from this. And honestly, you are completely satisfied with that is what it looks like, but it does also look like you want your freedom. I'm seeing this energy of really kind of, being well behaved in an energy where, maybe it would be in your best interest to say something. If you see some sort of injustice happening, you should be able to say something about it. And that's what I'm seeing here is that you are supposed to be experiencing freedom from the injustices that are taking place against you and not just, sitting idly by and allowing it, So you're meant to be coming to a place of renewal here, okay? There will be some sort of success. It does look like you have been, it's showing up, Leo, that you have been nurturing something here. So for some of you, you may be a mother in a connection with, you may be or a parent, I shouldn't say mother. I see mama bear when I see the bear. That's why I said mother. But you may be nurturing something here that is keeping you in very choppy waters. And there's something you need to be honest with yourself about. And it has to do with you bending over backwards, compromising your self-worth. And when you do that, that's when you're going to come into this energy of being able to attract prosperity in your life, freedom, prosperity. That's what it is that you are meant to be learning here. So there are big happy changes on the contingency that we end something here because this person is emotionally unavailable and you need to move forward towards something higher for yourself. And you will experience a miracle in your life is what's showing up here. But again, we have to start making the right choices moving forward. And that involves letting go of this really self-centered energy that is potentially very greedy too, okay? And because there's been so many ups and downs. I know the good times feel good, but the bad times are really, really bad. So it's time to lay this to rest. The chaos and conflict needs to be laid to rest. There may be something coming into, though, that's going to be... The Tower didn't show up, but that is a very chaotic card. Just like the Tower. But you are improving your health if you make this choice you're going to understand something. When you get out of this energy, there's something that's going to become clear here, and it has something to do with lack. So if you've always felt like you've experienced some level of lack, whether it be materially or emotionally or psychologically, there's something about lack here that you're going to learn about, and it's going to be after you cut ties. You already have a deep knowing about this, and this is going to cause you to grow in some way. So you need, again, look for a sign, pay attention to anything that reminds you of your childhood. Okay, if there's anything that's going on here that's reminding you of something you went through in your childhood, you may want to pay attention to this so that you can start being honest with yourself about something and actually shift your direction here. Because once you shift yourself mentally, the first principle of natural law is mentalism. Shift yourself mentally, that's when the gifts are going to come towards you. But you have to let go in order to transform here. So there is recovery here. And it does look like the two of you will potentially stay loyal to each other, whoever this is. It does look like you are going to you could rebuild on yourself though. We do have that Nine of Pentacles there. There will be fast changes. And it's going to be something new. These changes are going to be things that you have not experienced before, because there's something that's always been familiar to you, that you've always known, and so it's always been what you've attracted because you've been holding on to a certain mentality that is attracting it into your life. And you are going to learn some deep existential truths once you get out of this energy. So no, don't stay where you are. Don't keep doing what's familiar. There is something that you're going to experience. There's some sort of loss here, but you're also going to gain some sort of reward. It's really an unfortunate situation for whoever this is meant for, but it's fortunate but unfortunate, but you are manifesting a choice. You've got a choice here, and you need to protect yourself from something. There's something that you are not protecting yourself from. It's almost like you're victimized by this energy. So, Leo, the situation will improve. You're going to experience some level of loss here. And so you may go through the stages of grief while you are on your own. It does look like you need to protect yourself and really focus on yourself right now. And you will get rewarded for this once you shift your consciousness out of chaos and conflict, and you will come to a place of acceptance, acceptance being the last stage of grief, which we see come out twice in this reading. So Leo, that is your reading for the second week of June 2025. Thank you for all of your likes, your shares, your subscribes, and until I read you again, take care and bless.